This is the Q1 2026 chess review. So I'm going to look over my the board games from the first 3 months of this year. I'm going to look over my big picture, chess.com games from these first few months, and then I'm also going to look at my costs and expenses, and then I'm going to look at the next few months and what's on the horizon for me. So this is the first time I'm doing this type of video, but let's see how it goes, and I think this will be interesting to look at it at a big picture. So with that being said, let's look over at my USCF profile. Okay, so this is my USCF profile. So as you can see, in 2024, I hit my peak. I don't actually think, yeah, so my published rating was 1984, but I reached a peak rating of 1996. And then I've been bouncing around in the low 1900s for a lot, dropped down to 1800, bounced back up, and now I've been in the 1800s since mid last year, or I guess since October, so late last year, I guess. I've been in the low 18 or in the mid 1800s, and now I've been on a recent resurgence. So long story short, I played 24 rated games, and I won 19 of them, lost 5, and yeah, I mean that number is a little bit misleading because I played five of those games that I played out of my last 24 games. They were extra rated games where I was playing people rated 1,000 points or below me. So I think I played people 1,500 points lower rated than me twice, at least. So that number is a bit misleading. But I did play in a lot of really cool tournaments. My first tournament of this year was the Mountaineer Open in West Virginia. I played against a variety of people. Where am I? And I lost to Gallagher, this young kid who won the West Virginia Grand Prix last year. And yeah, he's very good. It was a very tactical game. At the end of this video, I'm actually going to go through all 3 of my losses and 1 of my wins. So stay tuned for that. But just thinking about this, it was a cool tournament. I played down for the most part. You see, I played 1100, I played a 1300, I played a 1500, and I lost to the only person that was around my rating. And then I played in the Shepherdstown Open, so I played in West Virginia back-to-back weekends. And then I played some extra rated games at tournaments that I organized. And then for a few weeks I didn't do anything, and I was getting pretty busy with the PA Collegiate Speed Chess Championship. But let me actually pull that up. So I am the main organizer for the PA Collegiate Speed Chess Championship, and in this first quarter, I spent a lot of time organizing matches and organizing the qualifiers and streaming these matches. So these are actually available on PA College Chess on the YouTube channel, PA College Chess, and you can watch the VODs live. And I directed a handful of tournaments too, but I'm the main organizer for this, so I actually had a lot of effort that I put into organizing this. But it was really fun. It was definitely really fun. But it did take away my time from actually playing chess and studying chess. Not that I would study, but it did take up a lot of energy. So that's why you see that gap there, where between the Shippensburg Winter Open and the Golden Rams Open, both tournaments I directed, but there was nothing in between. And so I played one extra rated game against a fellow Shippensburg student actually. So she was 1,200 points lower rated than me, or 1,500 points lower rated than me, or 1,100 I mean. So basically, for the entire month of February, I didn't play, more or less. I played that one game, but and here it's really interesting where you see that yeah, these 2 rows here, it's the same tournament, and it's funny, I gained 1 rating from beating an 1100, and then I was at 1849, and then here the March quads, I was in quad 2, and yeah, it was, I played people around my rating within 100 points of me, and it was a really good opportunity. I lost that last game against James Firestone pretty sadly. I said I want to show all 3 of my losses, but there's 5 losses. I'm only going to show 3 of them at the end of this video, and this will be one of them, and I think you'll start to see a trend in how I lose. And then I finally rounded out this quarter with a few tournaments in March. a few other tournaments, which was the Shepherdstown Open and the DMV Adult Only Tournament, and both of them I went up. So, by the start of this year, I was definitely, I lost some ELO, I lost some more ELO, and then I stayed the same. So going to 1874, started this quarter, 1861 actually, and now I ended this quarter 1883. So overall, plus 20 points, but still, a lot lower than I was at around this time last year. Around this time last year, I was around. Oh my gosh, what? Wait, I was also at 1861. Yeah, so I was this rating last year, but last year I did play in the Central PA Championship, and I went back over 1900 in that tournament. I scored 4.5 out of 5 against a very strong field. Actually, I wonder if I can find myself here. I think I should be able to. Yeah, so I played against a very strong field. Drawing a 2200 and then beating a 1900 and a high 1800. So I had a pretty good event. I had a pretty good event. So I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud of that. It definitely wasn't easy, and I really locked in for that tournament. And now I'm actually going to be playing the Central PA Championship as recorded. It's April 3rd as of the time I'm recording this. So tomorrow, April 4th, I'll be playing in the Central PA Championship again. And I'm hoping to break 1900 again. Although I've been playing so badly over these past 6 months in general, half a year in general. I'm not. If I don't reach 1900 again, I won't be so upset. Like that's just how it is. I started working full time, and I'm just not as good as I was. As for chess.com, I actually made a lot of gains. So if you look at my blitz rating, for example, the last 90 days, I started around high 1900s. And let me actually extend it a little bit more to a year here. So I've actually overall my level in blitz has gone up a lot. My lowest is like low 1800s, but now my highest this over the past year is 2143. So I've definitely improved a lot in blitz, and I think it is very useful to be good at blitz in time scrambles. I'm playing a lot of game in 40 delay fives, and even some game in 30 delay fives, and being good in low time controls. When I'm in time pressure, it's very, very useful to just develop my intuition. Make sure my openings are sharp. Playing blitz really helps with that. So I usually play at least 3 games of blitz a day. Sometimes it's less if I go to the chess club after work, but sometimes but most times I'm able to do it. So my blitz is looking really good. At the beginning of this quarter, like I said, I started at 1983, got all the way up to 2100. It's actually like every day I was playing and gaining and gaining. It was really, really cool. And then for rapid, I did not play that much this quarter. If I look at my graph, yeah, I think I played a few times. I've been focusing mainly on blitz. I got to a peak of 2249 though, so that was pretty cool, reaching my peak rating. Then I lost some games, so overall I stayed about the same in rapid, but I haven't really been prioritizing that lately. I do want to start playing more rapid and recording those games and posting again on YouTube. So I probably will start to play more rapid games, but yeah, it's been definitely not a priority for me. Really, I'm really proud of myself for how I've been playing in blitz lately and improving my level overall. This is a little sheet I've started for this year. So in years past, I wasn't really keeping track of how much money am I spending on chess and how much money am I making from chess. I started tournament directing, and and I get paid to be a tournament director. And so yeah, here I have it by entry fee cost. I mean, by entry fee and other costs like hotels or whatever else have you. And yeah, I started off. I got paid around $700 for being a tournament director for Pan Am's, and then I made some prize money at the Myerstown Quads. Then I got paid for a tournament director for the state championship. Then I made a little bit more prize money, but not much compared to the entry fee. And so overall, I made I'm at a deficit of $216 from chess. So I pay a lot for my tournaments in terms of entry fees. Although most tournaments I am playing, it is a relatively low entry fee. I forget here, minus $50. I forget why. Oh, I paid for a hotel when I didn't need to. There you go. And yeah, so overall, you see, I directed a lot of tournaments, and I had to renew my affiliate membership for tournament directing. D means directing related, or P means playing. So that does change things a lot. And I also have on here tournaments I'm going to play in the future. So Shippensburg Spring Open, I'm directing, but I'm actually going to be playing in it for the most part. So I'm not going to be the chief TD, so probably will be put that to playing. For Villanova University, I'll be directing that. I'll probably be playing in York Quads. I might not, but I probably am. I might play in Meyerstown Quads the weekend after that. And then this one, I will be playing, actually, let me delete this one and change that to 5-9. So I'm playing the Maryland Open. So this is next quarter, right? So this is not this quarter, but next quarter I'll be playing in at least this many tournaments. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do for June yet, but I've been starting to fill up my calendar a bit. So including my future expenses. So in quarter number 2, I am net negative right now. However, if I do win prize money at some of these events, then I could be net even potentially, which is pretty good. It's definitely not like a super high priority for me to be net even with my hobby, but it is definitely nice when my hobby is not costing me a crap load of money. So overall, I think over the board, I'm on a decent path so far. I think it's reasonable for me to get back up to 1900 like I have been for a while. For so many supplement ratings, I've been 1900. I have the first category title. So basically, you for tournaments 4 rounds or longer, you can get a category title that basically says like, oh, you performed for the first category. Sorry, excuse me. For the first category title, it's like you performed at a 1900 level for X amount of tournaments. So it was cool to get that title. But yeah, but we'll see what it brings me. Like I think I'm likely to get back over 1900 in the second quarter of 2026. And for Blitz, I think it's a good chance. If I keep working on my Blitz, and I keep doing my 2-minute gambit, in Blitz. So hopefully I can get over 2200 in Blitz potentially. If I don't, I would be happy to maintain like a low to high 2100. Like as you see throughout this quarter, like I go up to 2100 and I drop back down. I go up to 2100 and I drop back down, go up, go down. So I would love to maintain a 2100 or mid 2100 level in Blitz, in quarter 2, and then for tournament directing, I have a decent amount of tournaments coming up. Like I said before, I have the Shippensburg Spring Open. That's on April 11th. And so it'll be an interesting tournament. Like I said, though, I guess it's kind of different because I'll be playing in it primarily more than directing. And then I have the Villanova Wildcat Open, which I will be directing, and probably not playing at all, but we'll see what happens. So it'll be a very interesting event. I'm really excited to be a part of this. I think the Villanova University people are very nice, and I'm really excited to see how this tournament goes. And really, it's just these 2 tournaments for this quarter. I'm also streaming the finals, or I'll be part of the finals in some capacity for April 12th. So I will actually be pretty much done with all of my directing or organizing duties until June 20th. So June 20th will be the first ever Shippensburg Summer Open. Oh, I don't even have it posted yet. I don't have the Shippensburg Summer Open posted. Well, that's crazy. So yeah, here this is the Shippensburg Summer Open. Very same thing as the Shippensburg Winter Open. But yeah, new location is going to be below a coffee shop. So really cool stuff. But basically I have 2 months, from April 19th to June 20th. I have no directing obligations in between that. So I will be playing a lot more, and hopefully I'll be able to focus more on my own chess improvement. So we'll see how that goes. And with that being said, let me hop into one of my losses, and a few of my losses actually. This is my game in the Mountaineer Open. My opponent played a Modern, and I played pretty combatively with castling early, throwing all my kingside pawns, allowing him to push all of his pawns forward. But, by pushing his pawns forward, he's not creating an open line of attack towards my king. So even though it looks scary, this position is perfectly equal here. And here I'm actually better in some aspects, but I really screw it up really, really quickly. Here I was supposed to take, forcing his king to stake in the center. And I had to just understand that, like, hey, it's okay. I actually did not see this move h5 and then g5. What's the point? Oh, I think I'm supposed to sacrifice the knight. I did not see that idea at all. So, oh, whoa. I didn't do that, but instead I did that, and here he was really supposed to sacrifice his rook, but he didn't for a while, and instead he just took on c4 naturally, and here it was really sharp here. I was so close to checkmating here. I really thought I had him. Like, for example, if you go here, then here, and now you are toast. You are toast. It's checkmate in 9. For black, if they just start sacrificing everything, then it's checkmate for 9 in 9. So kind of crazy to think about. But instead, I'm the one that gets checkmated first, and it's very, very sad. It is very, very sad. So actually, after he plays rook a4, I resign. So let's go to next game. So next game, I have black against James Firestone, another person who's around my rating. I guess a little bit less so. And in this game, it got really interesting very, very quickly. And I'm forcing him, to not to be able to castle, but then I allow him to castle, and I just put my king in the center, and it looks very, very bad. I ended up being down a piece, and it's just losing for me, and he ends up converting the game pretty flawlessly because I was just like completely dead lost. So once again, I got into a very combative, complicated position and ended up not being able to get through those complications effectively. And this was my most recent loss against Darren Berkeley. And I played a completely new opening this time around. Let me put on game review. I played a completely new opening for the first time, d6 on move 1, and I ended up playing e5, and it was very interesting. Like, these knights, this h5 and d7 knights got all over his grill. He played kind of inaccurately, and so did I, though. And we got into a very interesting position here where, I should have probably kept my queen here on the king side, maybe try to prepare d5 someday, probably just castle safely on the queen side, and enjoy a positional, advantage, a positional, knight versus bishop. I have control, a grip on a lot of these dark squares. I have a very advanced knight, and I think it's actually pretty decent on g3. So I have to keep my queen closer, but instead I went for a6, b5, and it's still completely okay. But here I make a mistake. I allow this brilliant move, forcing a repetition here. He sacrifices a piece, but my king is just too weak here. He can give infinite checks if I try to avoid it. He takes more pawns with check. If he goes here, then I have, chances to win, actually, because it's not a check, and I can bring my queen back. And maybe I'm okay here. Maybe I'm even winning here because he's just down a bishop at the end of the day. Or down a knight, I guess, specifically. But, I don't take his bishop back because I'm like, oh, I want to win this game. I don't want a perpetual. And now he's just winning here. He's winning. And now he's just slightly better. He played it imprecisely. And here I had to just go king g8. I wasn't supposed to trade off both pairs of rooks. And then, play c5 here. He just gets in. And my king is just really weak. I thought my king wasn't so weak, but it was indeed g5. Very strong move. And I just didn't know what to do. There was nothing really for me to do. I took and ran my king forward. Kind of crazy how actually, here I can play rook f2 and actually have, it's only +3 for white, so it should be, so I guess it's dead winning. But it's kind of crazy how I'm not getting checkmated there immediately. But I only have 5 seconds left. I play, c takes d3, and I get checkmated promptly, which is fair. And so, all three of those games have something in common. I'm getting to those complications against, people my rating or slightly higher, and I'm just not feeling it. I'm not breaking through. And really, it's really tragic. It's really tragic with, the way I'm playing. I just don't think I'm playing that well, to be honest. And this is one of the games I won recently against Dr. Kevin Skull, podcaster, Chess Journeys. And and this game was really fun. And I think it shows a lot of my strengths, which is just like I just love to calculate. And in this position, he plays ph4. I should play knight f2. Let me actually turn on game review here. I should play knight f2, but I kind of go g6, and then I play inaccurately. But here, I was thinking for a long time after queen g2. I was thinking about this move e5, and I thought this was such an interesting move. I really did not know what to think about it. I thought bishop g5 was so interesting. Okay, apparently he's losing for me. I thought it might be okay because after takes, queen takes g5, check, king. Oh, queen d8. I missed that move. I thought he had to go up, in which case I can just take. After knight d7, take, but then he has all of these checks here, and it gets complicated, but apparently I'm just losing. That's kind of surprising. Anyways, I love to calculate. I spent like 40 minutes or like 26 minutes here, and then sooner rather than later, I spent another, after queen d8, I spent another like 36 minutes because I was originally going to play knight e4, but then I decided not to. I tried just to develop, and then we built castle, and now I play g4, and I had a really, really strong attack here, and I ended up winning in very cool fashion, like such a very cool, fascinating game. And so I was very proud of this game. I was very proud of this game because I think I definitely did not play very precisely, but I played how I really wanted to, which I don't know how much that is worth. Is it worth anything at all? I don't know, but it was just a very fun game and reminded me about why I like chess so much. So it was very awesome. It's very awesome, to say the least. Thinking about a lot of the other games I've played this quarter, in this first quarter of 2026, I think there were a lot of times where I miscalculated things. And actually, I do want to take you to one more game that I played, which was this game, my game against Michael Lawler, where we got a completely symmetrical position, and I really screw up the bag in the sense that, like, I got really low on time. This is game in 30, delay 5, and the position is all hovering around equal, but I kind of, screwed this up. Here I panic, and I played knight c4, and this endgame, I can never really win. The computer says it's equal, and I was trying really hard to win, but I couldn't. But here, this is like just a draw, and I even like shuffle a few times and move my rook a few times, and it's only because of he messes up and goes king c1, which just makes the position go from equal to like -4 on the spot. And here I will just step in and really push through and just end up queening and checkmating from there. But it was a very cool set, a very, very cool game. But I was so close to losing that on time, and so close, and I failed to generate anything in that game. It was really just him who really blundered there in the end. But it is interesting to think about how I'm winning against these 1500s, how I'm winning against these 1700s, because I am playing down a lot. I am playing down a lot. So I guess it's a really good sign that I'm beating people lower rated than me pretty consistently. But man, oh man, people my same rating or a little bit higher, like I'm really failing. I'm really, really failing. But I guess it's all par for the course. All par for the course. So I don't know what to make of it. I don't know. I was hoping to draw a conclusion by looking through some of my games and by looking through some of my results. I was hoping to draw some sort of conclusion on like what do I need to work on for this next quarter. But honestly, I think my play is just really sloppy. You know, like I think I'm just not playing that well at the end of the day. I really do think that's that. I think I just need to calculate better. I need to have better time management. You know, and I'm just not doing that. Anyways, I will see you guys in the next one. Wish me luck. Well, probably by the time this video comes out, the Central PA Championship was long over. But yeah, till the next quarter. We'll see what happens.